Hello all, and welcome to tonight's Shochu review. First review of 2020. The 20s are back again, yes! So everyone do jazz hands, flapper dance, and get ready for a crippling economic depression and the rise of fascism. No. Just kidding. Anyways, I haven't reviewed a Shochu in a long while, and that is for multiple reasons. One, it's kind of a New Year's thing for me, and two, ironically, they're not very well distributed here in Hawaii. Yes, I know. So, there's maybe about 5 to 10 brands that are worth actually going and reviewing. And I tend to be kind of picky. I like jochu. I'm kind of like on most of the others. Why? Because, well, rice shochu is just pretty much distilled alcohol. I mean, it's like light vodka light, almost. It's just sort of a mild ethanol flavor. Iichiko is, well, this is not their usual one. Their main line is 100% barley shochu. And I found this in the store because it was the only sweet potato shochu, the jochu, that was available at Tamura's. And this is shochu distilled with sweet potato and rice. So, this was not on their website. I'm not sure why it wasn't on their website. But Kogane no Imo, I suppose is the name of it. I don't know what the percentage is of the mash bill, so how much sweet potato and how much rice it is. It is 25% ABV, which is pretty much the usual shochu ABV, which goes in between about 25% to 33%. And as you can see, I already drank quite a bit of this on New Year's, which is why I had a 2-day hangover, because I also drank a bunch of hard seltzers. It was my first time drinking hard seltzers, and I never will drink hard seltzers again, because I just realized they are really not my thing. And plus, they really messed me up for some reason. I don't know why. Messed me up stomach-wise. I think because I usually don't drink things that are very acidic. Anyways, I'm going to be doing a sniffing of this. So, putting this into the Glencairn glass straight. And then I've also boiled some water in the microwave, which I'm going to be putting in here, and I'm going to be making an oyawari, which is my favorite way of drinking shochu. So, 4 parts hot water here, which I really wish I could heat this up in the regular thing. Yep, still nicely hot. And then you just add the shochu on top of it. The heavier aspect of the shochu will mix it nicely. As you can tell, no color. And the wonderful smell of jochu is now filling the room. It's very aromatic when you have it in this form. So what is the smell of jochu? As you've seen in my previous 2 jochu reviews, it's very earthy. Almost like a earthy caramelized scent to it. It does have a very boozy sort of scent to it. You can see it's clear here. I'm doing this because whenever I turn... Lights are weird right now, so I didn't want to turn it on because it's just flashing really bright. So, earthy, caramelized. Sort of like a burnt sugar and earth. Very moist, fertile earth. Let's go and smell it from here. Which is why I tend to prefer it in hot water. It's actually much more aromatic as an oyawari. Whereas with this, it's very muted. You just get like maybe 10% of the smell you would in oyawari. The flavor, too, I find, is not as good as in the oyawari, even though it's much more concentrated like this. Why? Shochu tends to drink fairly hot, and that is an artifact of it being single distilled as opposed to double or triple distilled. So, just straight, it tends to go and have an overwhelming hotness and booziness, and nothing like a real burn because it's still pretty low ABV, but it really overwhelms the nuances of the beverage. Whereas with this, it's really quite... I'm just going to turn the light on so it stops doing this. It drives me crazy when it does this. I am just going to have to go and get a real camera one of these days. And when you're like this, you get so much more of the delicate taste notes that are kind of covered up by the alcohol. Now, probably the closest taste comparison that I can say is basically you caramelize sweet potatoes, and it's a treat in Japan. Yaki-imo, in which large sweet potatoes are wrapped up in tinfoil and thrown into hot coals, and it cooks it, but it also causes sugar in it to really caramelize on the outside, so it's kind of crunchy and mushy and just incredibly delicious and a wonderful thing. It's sold during the winter times, almost, and it's just basically old guys driving around in the middle of the night where they're saying yaki-imo, yaki-imo, and you go and grab it, and you know, as you're getting out of the bar, as you're getting home from work in the winter, and it's just like the perfect winter snack, after drinking snack. I love it. I really wish I could make it. I probably could make it, but I'm just incompetent in the kitchen. Now, yeah, I'm just going to go and stick with this and then add more hot water later. Now, what can I say about this particular brand right here? Well, you can tell that it is not pure sweet potato because it's a little bit, it's not as an intense flavor as most imo jochus. There's an underlying softness to the base of it. And this is probably by design because imo jochu is very much an acquired taste. This would be a wonderful one to kind of go and start on the joys of sweet potato shochu, right? Because the balance of the rice with it removes the more musty, funky kind of basement flavors that can also arise in especially very high quality imo jochu, and that's something that takes some time to get used to. I'd say it's not as crazy as some liquors, but it takes about as much time to get used to as a good scotch. You know, a nice heavily peated scotch. And some people never really do get used to it. Yeah. So, being that this is one of the ones that is very well distributed in even the mainland, I know that, this might be the only chance you get to go and try an imo jochu. Go and try it, because this is basically the one that you kind of want to start with. This is you know, Babby's first sweet potato shochu, mixed with rice, obviously. And, you know, it's nice going and revisiting types of alcohol. I don't really get around to reviewing much, especially since I'm mostly a beer man now. And speaking of, next few reviews, I received a Kona Brewing box set, and I was wondering, you know, I wonder if I've ever reviewed these, because it's been a while since I've drank Kona Brewing outside of a bar or a party setting, and I noticed that there's some things that I've been drinking for years that I haven't really reviewed yet. And I know I technically kind of focus on locally brewed beers, and these are kind of contract brewed in California, but, well, I'm kind of going into it now. I should get into it later when it's actually time for me to get there. And I'm looking forward to reviewing it because one of them is a personal favorite of mine, very sessionable ale. And you'll just have to go and find out about it in the next couple of reviews. I might do 2 reviews in one day because they're both very light beers. But anyways, going back to Iichiko, Kogane no Imo Shochu. It's good getting back to this. I know that people who go and watch my reviews are generally not in a place where they can go and try this. Definitely give it a try. It is, I would say it's very much up there with high quality sake in regards to complexity, flavor, and, you know, in just like a completely different direction as well. Give it a shot, shall we? So, that's your shochu review for today. Cheers.